If you were into anime while growing up, you probably went through a phase where you really wanted to get your hands on some anime merch. To do this, you probably also thought it was a good idea to get your hands on some anime-themed clothing. So you went down to your local con, bought a really shitty t-shirt with a blurry PNG of your favorite anime waifu, and thought to yourself, there's nothing tacky about this, and that you'll never regret this purchase and fashion choice. And yeah. But I feel like anime drip is kinda going through a renaissance. Between indie streetwear brands that are founded by literal digital artists, and more bigger brands like Uniqlo and Gucci collaborating with equally big anime titles, the margin for cringe clothing is getting less and less. You have a way bigger selection to see what vibes with you personally. We went from shitty PNG t-shirts made by some third-party Chinese sweatshops to literal JoJo tuxedos made by a Gucci-owned sweatshop. But I wanted to find out, why is anime getting more popular in the world of fashion? Keep in mind, this is the same medium that you were afraid to share with other people because you didn't want to be made fun of back in school, to having a Hollywood celebrity proudly repping his Naruto drip for the paparazzi. And in my research of finding out why, it brought me to a place I really wasn't expecting to go. Now, it goes without saying that anime drip is deeply tied to the streetwear and urban culture of Japan. I mean, Tokyo is one of the largest cities in the world. It basically has a culture in of itself. But I'm not here to talk about history. I'm here to find out why anime fashion has the appeal that it does. And the simple answer is aesthetics. There are a lot of ways you can express yourself using anime drip. From your usual character on a blank background to some of the more complex designs, there are a lot of aesthetic choices that it's impossible not to find something that you like. And what definitely helps this anime fashion aesthetic to be so appealing is how it's portrayed. I know anime isn't the most realistic when it comes to portraying certain things. But just like food, some shows do a really good job of portraying actual good-looking fashion. Animes like Rent-a-Girlfriend or even The Old Sailor Moon are really good examples of unironically good-looking and practical fashion. Honestly, if your entire fashion inspo are just outfits from these two animes, that's really not a bad idea. You can even find good-looking fashion in shonen anime. I can't say I'll ever rep Timmy Turner's drip, but when I look at official art for shonen anime like Bleach, I actually know some people that dress like this today. And it doesn't just stop at your streetwear or hypebeast aesthetic. For example, the mangaka behind JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Hirohiko Araki, has a huge obsession with the high-end fashion scene in France. And it really shows in some of the official art that he's made. Hell, he even had an exhibition of his art in the Louvre of all places back in 2009. And he'd also go on to have a Gucci collaboration in 2013. And this is partly why the anime fashion aesthetic is so appealing. It's presented in a way that looks practical enough for you to wear, but looks aesthetic enough in an animated setting. You can tell that some of the people behind these animes and mangas really did their research when it came to fashion. There's so much variety that the amount of outfit ideas are limitless. There really is something for everyone. You can also kind of see this variety in the more indie side of anime fashion. So many of these smaller brands interpret anime fashion, or what it means to be anime, differently. From your basic anime OC waifus on a hoodie to just milk. I don't know why it's milk, don't ask me. The anime aesthetic just seems to be something we as a community can't agree on what it really looks like. Everyone has their own definition of anime. Everyone has their own idea of what good-looking anime drip is. But what if I told you that this is the main reason why anime drip is so appealing? That anyone can be anime. Now I know I sound crazy, but hear me out. I've been watching anime since I was a teenager, which was during the 2010s. And I can confidently say that the attitude towards anime 10 years ago is not the same as today. Back then, there was kind of an attitude when you told people that you were into anime. That when people called you a weeb, it was more condescending rather than descriptive. Nowadays, some of the biggest celebrities are very open with how much they watch anime.
Does John Boyega watch anime? Yeah, I do. I watch Attack on Titan, I watch Naruto, I watch One Piece, I'm on Demon Slayer right now, which I'm enjoying. I definitely think the style of storytelling for anime is something that other genres can't particularly capture, but I think that's what anime is for, you know.
Then you also got things like Twitch and YouTube, where some of the biggest content creators are self-admitted weebs. Anime has become this thing where everyone and their mothers have started watching. But you might be saying, okay, that's great and all, but how the heck does this tie into fashion? Anime has basically transcended itself. Because of the attitude change towards watching anime, people want to emulate the shows that they grew up watching. We want to express something that we were really afraid to share back when we were younger. Shows and characters that we saw a part of ourselves in, but were too afraid to share because of what other people might say. Anime drip, or anime fashion, or whatever you want to call it, it's just a way of expressing this. We can finally represent the things that we were really passionate about. Now, I'm not saying that anime fans are the most oppressed group of people. That title obviously goes to the gamers.
With the glass ceiling broken, all the oppressed groups shall prosper, especially the most oppressed group of all, gamers.
But what I am trying to say is that it's really crazy to see how big anime has become and how people are constantly finding new ways to express themselves using the medium. From streetwear fans and hypebeasts to people just looking for their next fashion inspo, anyone can become anime now. And as someone who has been in this community for quite a while, I'm really curious where we'll go next.